Do you find yourself running with the horses, or do you fly with the lone eagles? Perhaps a little bit of both. A wise one once said that the truth will set you free. Well, what is that truth? Is there an objective truth? Is there only one path to God? Is there many paths to God? Do atheists have the right answer? In this following video, I will share my experiences over the years and in-depth research of what I found to be true. Is there one true religion or many paths to God? Greetings, my friends. It's an honor and privilege to have you here with me. I'd like to give you a quick introduction to build a little foundation so you know who's narrating this video. My name is Dusty McLean. I grew up in a smaller military town in Kansas, around all backgrounds, people from all around the world, and had a pretty decent childhood. I was friends with everybody from all races. We got along just fine. And I didn't like school so much. I played a lot of basketball, a lot of sports, mainly basketball, and I started getting into drugs, mainly weed. And I was on the reefers and the liquors. And I always knew that God was there. There'd always be some kind of supernatural happening, signs and wonders that I knew wasn't just a coincidence. But I didn't know who. I didn't grow up in I didn't grow up in a religious home whatsoever. So I didn't have any influence of religion. I've always just been a truth seeker. And I ended up going to college and getting a couple degrees, but I didn't learn a whole lot, honestly. These colleges are a little suspect, if you know what I mean. And I started researching more about what's going on in the world and just trying to dissect all the lies that we've been taught, and also just trying to find who the real God is. What's the meaning of life? What are we here for? Just the typical questions that every human has, I would suppose. So I lived in about 10 cities in 10 different years. I moved from Kansas to Colorado to Oregon to Texas and back to Colorado. And I got into the New Age movement, and it seemed like all these different religions, it seems like this Buddhist path is pretty peaceful, and I've seen so many hypocrites in these other religions, and the Buddhists I ran into seem pretty peaceful. So I tested the waters with Buddhism and Hinduism, and little did I know at that time we were actually doing mantras and tantras. I was into Tibet Buddhism, Japanese Buddhism, and Zen Buddhism, all kinds of different Buddhism and Hinduism, self-realization fellowship with Paramahansa Yogananda, and just testing the waters out. And I began to have a lot of dreams, and I was doing a lot of meditation, and we were actually doing tantras and mantras to wrathful deities. And there's a lot of paintings and pictures of that. And of course, Shiva in Hinduism is the destroyer. And it's no coincidence that's the same nickname as Satan. But we'll get into that a little later. So we were doing tantras, mantras to wrathful deities, which are demons. And I wasn't into that. I was about peace and love, equality to all. And it definitely raised an eyebrow. And I would begin seeing these Buddhist masters in my dreams that were very vivid. And, I thought they were peaceful, and I would start hearing, voices and whatnot, and like whispers in my ear, trying to tell me that I was the next so-and-so, like the next Buddha, basically Maitreya, which was quite ridiculous, I thought. But I couldn't deny all the dreams and signs and wonders that I was really seeing, and people around me were having similar dreams that were in agreement with it. It was really weird, but I never really fully believed it. It was just way too much to fathom. So, at the same time, I ran into a Buddha Christ Bible. Someone, I guess, threw it away in a dumpster, and my friend brought it to me, spotless, pure white Buddha Christ Bible. So I began reading that. I was studying the Noble Path, Eightfold Noble Path, and the Gospels of Jesus Christ. And I began praying to both. I was praying to Jesus and Buddha, while also dibble and dabbling with Hinduism and Paramahansa and Yogananda, and the Self-Realization Fellowship, and I would actually begin to see him in my dreams. And he passed away, but I was reading his books, and I would see Tibetan masters in my dreams and Yogananda in my dreams, and they were so super vivid. And yeah, things were just getting a little weird. I didn't really know the truth. And Yogananda would have a lot of books about Jesus Christ, but they also would worship all these other gods as well. So I was just like, is there one true God, or is there multiple paths? I was thinking there's probably multiple paths, it would make sense. So, yeah, things got kind of real with that. And I started noticing some dark things about the Buddhist path, meditating, doing tantras, mantras to demons, wrathful deities. I was like, no, something ain't right about that. And I began reading more of the Gospels of Jesus Christ and the Bible. And I would run into quotes here and there, while I'm researching about the world and this New World Order, basically. And yeah, the Bible began to make a lot more and more sense the more I read it. So I began to start telling people that how easy it is to come to Jesus Christ when I didn't actually come to him myself yet. I didn't proclaim him to be my Lord and Savior. And I was telling other people how easy it really is. And then one day, this show was on in the background, and I think it was like Andy Griffith's show. Some black and white show was on in the background, and these kids were in a classroom, and they basically there was a Bible verse that they were studying in the class, and it was talking about being a hypocrite. Some verse about Jesus calling out some people to be a hypocrite, and I knew right then that God was calling me a hypocrite because I was just telling people how easy it was to come to Christ when I myself did not do it myself. I was praying to Christ, but I did not fully accept him as my Lord and Savior. So he called me out as a hypocrite through the television, and I knew that was God talking to me. There's just no way. It wasn't a coincidence. So, weeks after, days after, I'm not for sure when, but it was soon after that, I went to 24 Hour Fitness, and this really nice Asian lady, we were conversing in the hot tub, and yeah, we were just talking about some things, nothing too crazy, but this is where it gets weird. The very next day, the next morning, I see her across town from the gym that I just saw her at. I see her across town at this small, really tiny hole-in-the-wall laundromat. And this was like, it was in the morning. And I never do laundry in the morning. That was probably the first time in my life that I did laundry at a laundromat in the morning. And I see the same lady. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. And I have witness, too, as well. And, yeah, so we were chopping it up again. I couldn't believe that we see the same lady. And she started witnessing to us about Jesus Christ. And later I found out I was having many more dreams. And I was seeing my mom in my dreams, and she was showing me to get baptized by Jesus Christ. And that's why I was led to go. That's why I met this lady in the hot tub, which represents a water baptism in the water. And then at the laundromat, which also represents getting cleaned up, cleansing my sins through baptism. And then I had that dream. So I know God was showing me who he really was. And, these things were not a coincidence. So that's when I accepted Christ soon after that. And I renounced Buddhism, Hinduism, and I was studying about, Judaism and Islam, Muslims, and all kinds of things, Native American spirituality, just, keep an open mind and trying to be humble about it. And sure enough, Jesus Christ was the one that answered. I called out to Buddha, these Hindu gods. I would see masters in my dreams, but I wouldn't really see Buddha or these Hindu gods in my dreams necessarily. So Christ was the one that answered the call. Found me, actually. I was searching, but he really was with me all along. And, if you ever knew that there was some powerful source, some people call it the universe or what have you, but the source that's with you that proves by miracles time and time again, signs and wonders in your life, I'm sure that you've experienced something where you know that it wasn't a coincidence and that a higher power was looking after you. Most of you probably listening, maybe not all. The devil can blind people, so not everyone has seen some of these supernatural things, or maybe they just weren't paying attention. I'm sure God's speaking to everybody, trying to get their attention, because he loves all. He doesn't discriminate. So yeah, I knew that Christ was calling me, and I began to have so many dreams around that time, and some would come true. Some were from the devil, is what I've come to realize. Some were demons, some were from Satan. In Buddhism and Hinduism, those Buddhists and those wrathful deities, the Buddhist masters and all the paintings, the Buddhas, they're actually, in my experience and in my opinion, the fallen angels spoken about in the Bible. And it says that Satan will show up as an angel of light. So Satan comes to you as an angel of light, not with the the horns and the red tail and looking so demonic. He shows up to you in your dreams or open visions as an angel of light. And I would see these masters in my dreams, and they looked like they were friendly, and I trusted them. I was like, okay, I'm on the right path. This is amazing. This supernatural things happening. It was just so incredible. But I come to find out, in retrospect, it was actually Satan and his fallen angels coming to me as disguising as angels of light. So the New Age thing, it really began to unravel, and I slowly began to follow Christ. And I followed the dream to go get baptized. My mom was living in Houston, so I moved from Portland, Oregon, all the way to Houston. And I got baptized a few weeks later after I ran into that lady at the gym and at the laundromat. And that's when the real journey began. And just as people say, when you accept Christ, you accept him as your Lord and Savior, you believe that God raised him from the dead, you will start getting attacks from Satan. And sure enough, the night after I accepted Christ, I had dreams of Satan chasing me in dragon form through a forest. And then he came down and changed forms into some really weird schizophrenic, nasty looking creature, and it was right in my face. It was disgusting and quite terrifying, to be honest. So just like people say, Satan will come attack you right when you accept Christ, because it is the true path.